Hello, my name is Sarah Dalmas. We're going to go through some basics to rowing. Here we go. So first things first, we're going to discuss the different parts of the machine. This right here is called your flywheel. This setting right here from 10 to 1 is going to be your damper. This controls the amount of air that flows through. On 1, it's going to feel like you're rowing a sleek, small racing shell. On 10, it's going to be like a heavy wooden fishing boat full of a ton of fish. So that's kind of what that's about. We're going to put it on 3 today just to keep it nice and light. You've also got your performance monitor right here. You've got your handle hook, your flex foot pads, your seat, and your monorail. Okay? Before we get started, I'm going to show you how to detach the front end from the monorail. If you wanted to store it somewhere in a small place or you wanted to move it, this is what you might do. It's a little tricky because this is on a tilt right here, and if you push the seat away, it's gonna come back to you. So just kind of keep an eye on the seat the whole time so it's not slamming around. There's a little lever in between your 2 foot flex pads. So you're gonna lift up on that black lever, and then you're gonna grab both pieces. And again, keep an eye on that seat. Here it goes, okay? And then they detach just like that. And carefully put them apart. Putting them back together, you'll notice there is a nice little, oh, there it goes, hook right here. That's gonna fit right into this silver tubing down there. I'm sorry, I don't have a better visual here, but you're gonna just lift, lock that back into place, right as it fits, and then you'll put it right back together, just like that. You wanna make sure that it's nice and in there, because you definitely don't wanna start rowing and then have it not be quite in place. But that's how you put it together and take it apart. Before we get started, I'm gonna show you a few things. You want to always enter from behind. This is the safest way to get on and off, especially if you've finished rowing. You could easily trip coming off if your legs are really tired. So we always want to come in from the back and then have a seat right there. The seat does roll, so you want to make sure that you've got nice tight clothing. You don't want anything really loose that could get underneath the wheels. We want to always set up our damper first and bring our handle down into our handle hook before we get strapped in with our feet, because then it's going to be really hard and unsafe to reach afterwards. You also want to set up your performance monitor, make sure it's at eye level that you can see it. And then we're going to put our feet in. Okay, so you'll notice that there's different attachments for different sizes. When you put your foot in, you kind of lift and shift it down to what size works for you. Mine's about a 1. I wear size 7. I'm going to put those feet in, tighten it, and you want that strap to be across the ball of your foot. If you have pretty tight ankle flexors or hamstrings, and you can't get your shins to be perpendicular to the floor, drop that foot pedal down a little bit, and that should help you, because the goal is to get perpendicular to the floor. Okay? So before we get fully started, we're going to do a couple of little warm-ups here, just to get the body going. So the first thing we're going to do is just slide back and forth. Wake those legs up just a little bit. Get the blood flowing. It's never good to exercise on a cold body. So we're just going to go back and forth, nice and easy. A little bit of motion here. We're going to go 5 more times. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now we're going to add some arm movements. So we're just going to reach forward and pull back. Squeezing those shoulder blades together. Still nice and easy, but getting that body warmed up just a hair. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now we're going to stay all the way back, and we're just going to lean slightly forward with our hips. Should feel a nice little stretch in the back of your hamstrings and the bottom of your legs. We're going to stay here for 10, 9, 8, 7, maybe add a little arms here, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. While we've gotten a little bit of a warm-up, we can talk a little bit more about the different parts of the stroke. There are 4 main parts. The first one is right at the beginning. If you grab your handle, it's good to always keep your thumbs underneath, wrapped in just like that. Okay, and notice I'm right here, shins perpendicular to the ground. My seat is about 6 to 10 inches away from the front. You'll notice there's a piece of red tape here just to kind of give you a visual of about how far that is. So we're right here, arms are forward, shoulders are down, nice and comfortable, and our hips have us leaning slightly forward, bending at the hips. So as we're here, this is called the catch. This is the beginning / the end, or the transition from one stroke to another. When you're in this position right here, you should feel slightly uncomfortable. It's not a really comfortable position. We don't stay here very long, so that's the good news. Okay, so once we're here, we're going to transition into what's called the finish. So we're going to drive with our legs. Our power is going to come off from our legs. We're going to extend with full force, and then we're going to shift our body backwards into about a 90-degree angle. And then we're going to pull our arms into, and we're going to be slightly leaning backwards now. This is called the finish. Our feet are pressed firmly against those flex foot pads. Our shoulders are down, our wrists are neutral. Our handle is pulled straight into our abdomen. We don't have chicken wings way up here. We're nice and comfortable just like this. And we're leaning slightly backwards as a 11 o'clock, okay? Next, we're going to do the recovery part. The recovery is the reverse of what we just did. So you're going to lean forward. Your arms are going to come first. Your body is going to go from 11 o'clock all the way to 1 o'clock. You should feel a nice little stretch in the hamstrings here. And then once we've created a box in between our hands, our knees are going to come up after our arms pass. And it will return us back to our catch. And that was our recovery. So again, we've got our catch here, we drive, we finish. Did I talk about finish? I don't think I did. Here we go. So we're gonna drive, we're gonna finish. Maybe I did, I can't remember anymore. But we're just gonna keep going. We're gonna recover, and we're back to catch. All right, so one more time. We're at the catch, we're gonna drive, we're gonna finish, we're gonna recover, and we're gonna catch. A little bit faster. Just like that, drive, finish, recover, catch, drive, finish, recover, catch. Your drive should be a 1-to-2 ratio of your recovery. Just like that. Okay? A great way to practice these skills is to do something called a pip drill, where it slows down each motion and gets you into each part of the stroke, and nice practice for it. So how this works, we're going to take our handle and we're going to start in the finish. So your feet are pressed firmly against those flex foot pads. You're leaning slightly backwards in that 11 o'clock position. Your arms are pulled in. And the first thing we're going to do is called an arms only. Okay? So we're doing that last motion of the stroke before we return all the way back. And so we're just going to be right here. This is a great for teaching the body that your arms are last. It's a common mistake that rowers do. They'll pull with their arms at the same time that they push with their legs. and you lose a lot of power that way, and you waste a lot of energy. So this is great for teaching the body, arms last. Okay, we're squeezing those shoulder blades together. Our shoulders are down and away from our ears. And we're gonna stay here for 2 more, and then we're gonna move into arms and back only. So we're gonna shift our body from this 11 o'clock position to a 1. And this is 2, this is 1, and here we go. Just like that. This is arms and back. You feel a nice stretch in those hamstrings when you come forward. This is going to help teach your body to bring your arms back first before those knees pop up. You want to create a box for those knees to pop up into, and that box is going to be right here in your arms. Okay, we're going to stay here for a few more, and then we're going to go what's called a quarter slide. So we're going to let those knees pop up into that box just barely, and our seat's going to slightly move forward. And 2, 1, just like that. We're still coming from 11 to 1, and then we're popping up. 11, up. Just like that. Very nice. Just a nice little pop. This is a quarter slide. After this, we're going to go into a half slide. So your knees are going to pop up just a little bit more. Take your time here. We're training our body to do it the right way. It may not always feel natural at first. Okay? And in 2, we're going to pop those knees up just a little bit more into a half slide. This is 1. This is 2. And half slide. Good. Shoulders are still down, away from our ears. We're squeezing those shoulder blades when we pull our arms back. Get a nice full body movement. Our feet are pressed firmly against the foot plates. Okay, and in 2, we're going to go to a 3/4 slide. Coming a little bit closer to that front. Not quite to the catch, but almost there. And 2, 1, 3/4 slide. Good. And finally, we're going to go for that full slide. Letting your seat slide all the way forward. And 2, 1, full slide. Very good. And for your ratio, you've got a 1, 2. Rest those handles back in the hook. Okay, couple of things you'll notice on your monitor. You've got a button that says Units, Display, and Menu. Once you start rowing, it'll go straight into it. If you hit Display, it'll go through a different series of lots of different display options. The easiest one I like to use is the one with the biggest numbers, and you'll see it if you keep toggling through. Okay, the units will change. If you hit that far left button, It'll change from watts to calories to meters. Okay, so today we're going to look at meters. In that bottom biggest number, well, it's not the biggest number, but it's the bottom left number, you've got the strokes per minute. We're going to aim for around 20 to 24 there. And it's good to practice seeing if you can get the same stroke for a while and just see how that feels and how long it takes you to do 500 meters. So that's some practice that you can do next time. That top number is going to be how long you've been rowing. And that big number in the middle is going to be how long it takes you at this pace to do 500 meters. Okay? So that's a little bit about the performance monitor. As far as etiquette for getting off of a rower, a couple things. We're going to get out of our foot pads first, safely. So you're going to take your thumbs right here, and you're going to push against those straps. You're going to slide your feet forward and out, straight up and out. Okay, it's always good and good etiquette to leave those nice and open for the next person. You're going to take your handle hook, you're going to put it up towards the chain guard right here, because that protects the chain long term. We don't want to have it stretched out. Okay, we're going to get off by sliding backwards, standing up, and walking out nice and safely. Okay? We're going to leave the damper on 3 so that it's ready for the next person wherever they choose to start it. And then we're going to just clean it off. Something that works great for these machines is Windex and a nice cloth. So you're just going to spray a little bit, wipe the seat, wipe the handle, okay, and wipe the monorail. This will keep your machine looking nice and lasting longer if you keep good post-rowing etiquette, okay? You have a nice cloth that's not wet. I just use the other side. You can wipe off your performance monitor as well. Okay? Again, my name is Sarah Downs. I hope you learned something, and I'll talk to you later.